Hey guys, what up? What up? How we doing? We have a decent amount of PoBing to do. I have a very rough idea of what I want coming from this build, and I have an idea for where I'm going with it. But you'll have to see how it all plays out, essentially. But how we doing? I'm doing pretty good. Kind of tired, but that's basically been my everyday, right? We are going to be PoBing Herald of Purity on the Witch today. It's, I think, the plan. Why Witch? Because I realize I don't really need the reservation. I don't know that I want to go for the reservation of Guardian slash Ascendant, because I'm probably going to go Blood Magic, and this would only allow me to go one aura anyways, and I would just much rather have the Leech coming from the Witch than the reservation, which means I'll try to make it work off of, I guess the first thing I need to worry about is the reservation. So let's just go. First things first, we're going to do Blood Magic, and there's two uniques I can think of that can give Blood Magic. Either Skin of the Lords, which is not a bad idea because it's +2, and I mean, global defense is global defense, and I guess we could also use that for res. Yeah, we could use that for res. If we so choose, but I'd rather have the defense, to be honest. Only problem with Skin of the Lords is it doesn't have much in the way of flat anything. Second alternative is Covenant. Why not Covenant? Because of the life costs that it adds to skills. We're going to be converting my life regen to ES regen, I believe, and I mean we are also just going to be going for ES leech as well. So that means that, I mean, I'd have to figure out how to deal with the base life costs. There's there is a replica covenant. I was going to say there's replica covenant, but not really. Replica cov. The problem with replica covenant, if you can call it a problem, is I don't know that I want to do cold damage. I don't mind doing cold damage, but I also don't think I want to deal with a 4-grain triad script. No PoB for PoE2. If I'm PoBing for PoE2, that'll probably be on Thursday. But at the same time, for PoE2, I think there's going to be so much changing that I'm not entirely sure why I would PoB. Day one, I'm probably just going to wing it, because like I'm going to be going druid. So starting from the druid section of the tree, I'm nothing in PoB2 can be planned for. The new nodes that we're going to get for minions in the druid section or defenses, all of that, we don't know them yet. So, not to mention, I plan on going Oracle, I think, which means even more things I can't plan. So it's like, why bother? I know the uniques I'd be going for. So I think it's going to be a case of I'm going to wing it. And then by the time I hit campaign, I will likely try to make an ideal tree based off of what we have. I think that is my current plan. There's just way too much that we don't know for me to make a plan I feel comfortable with. In terms of leveling, I plan on going EDC and minions until I can go solo minions. Probably just going snipers for a good chunk of time. I'll try to work in wolves as ASAP, but realistically, depending on how they work, I might be or I might not be able to do that. Early on, I don't mind going for a hybrid playstyle with attacks either and just dropping EDC to summon my wolves. But that is something I'd be looking to drop at some point, I think. In the ideal universe, we'd be able to use our rules to get other wolves via the mark. But we don't know that for a fact. But I think we should be able to. Because I think you summon those wolves on when the enemy that has the mark dies, not necessarily when you kill the enemy, I think. I could be wrong. I don't fully remember, but I think it's when they die, not when you kill them. Which of course makes a big difference. Are you PoBing for PoE 2? So if I go for this, what does Ghost River plus Eternal Youth do? I assume there'll be no leech, no recharge. Well, let's see. PoE, Ghost River, and Eternal Youth. Because if, so I guess having my life regen is unideal, and having my ES leech is also unideal. So this cuts life recharge in half, but I still have life recharge. Okay, that's honestly not a bad idea. We'll do Oracle as well, so no planning right now. I was planning to, we'll probably play something with Dodri's Undoing again. Dodri's Undoing, is that the one that plays off of curses? Where it's like curses creates hazardous zones or something like that? Is that the one? Less total life recovery from leech, but this is ES recovery. Okay, so the downsides of this should not affect the leech for my ES, and the life regen will hit my ES, but I think that's fine. I think I figured out how I would go Covenant with this setup. I think I may have just figured it out. Though I do need to get to this area, but I could always also just do this. Because I need to get these points. Then I need to get all the way down here and pick this up. And still get all the way up here and pick this up. I think this is the core setup. And we can go Covenants with Blood Magic. What does Blood Magic replace? Curses and instacking. So you might be league starting a non-minion build, is what that means. Wait, it removes the base life costs? Oh shit, that's huge. Actually, I'll have a life cost regardless because blood magic. Anyways, so I'll still need the cost. I'll still need it. POB for Herald of Purity for PoE 1. Yes, Herald of Purity PoE 1. I don't think there's a Herald of Purity in PoE 2. Am I not seeing PoE 1's? Yeah, I mean PoE 1's category. I am right. Let me just confirm again. Double confirm. There's only 500 people viewing PoE 1. That's insane. Anyways, yeah, I think this is fine. All my life costs will be, all my mana costs will be life with blood magic. Wait, what? I just saw blood magic here. How do I make this Farborn? Is there a way to make it Farborn? My knowledge of purity is defined by hatred, so I wouldn't know. Lol. Don't worry, there is no Heart of Purity in PoE 2. This is a PoE 1 build. This is going to be my last build of the league if I end up rolling it. If I can make it PoB I want, I'll go for it. Dude, what are these variants? There is no reduced anything else. I feel like I caught PoB in an in-between for supporting Farborn or something. Because like, why is it there? Why is it there as a variant, you know? Okay, in that case, we're just going to be removing this. And then we're going to be removing this. Then adding that to build. Then we're going to be taking this, or better still, taking this, in attunements, Barbala, and the most important thing right now is flask charges with a weight of 10. Then asides that, we probably want to use an impossible escape. We'll just show it somewhere with pain attunements. Right there. And then we pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are there any 2 pointers we can pick up that are within range? I don't think so. Okay. Search. The one I wanted the most to have it doesn't have it. Instead, I get to pick up fast speed. Fuck no. This I can take. While dual wielding, I don't plan on dual wielding, so this I would also take. Chance to avoid poison and bleed. It's pretty good. And kick free chaos res. Sure. So 1, 2, 3. Realistically, I want these 3 nodes as the biggest priority, and then I can pick up this guy as well because he has value for my build. Okay, let's research. There's quite a few of them that have 3 of 3, so that's not ideal. Okay. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3. Okay. That's not bad. That means I don't need to take these points. If I don't want to, at least. I have this one. I have this one. I can drop this one, but if I have this impossible to keep, I might as well pick this up. Because why not? And then Balbala, of course. And in all of that, we're going to be going probably Tides of Time. Tides of Time with max unique flasks. And coruscating elixir. Okay. Then save this. Let's go look at what flask we had here. Oh, this is wrong one. This one. Just magics. Okay. Just making sure there's no unique I'm missing. We're going for 3, so obviously 2 of them will be quartz and quicksilver. I think it's a no-brainer. And then we go for increased duration. I don't know if I'm going to be armor scaling. I'm going to be fully reliant on... I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to be fully reliant on my specters for auras. So let's start with Herald of Purity. This is 75% left. I think because we are covenants, it just makes sense to go this. Actually, we can't. We can F and F this or this. Probably this because other gamers like this now. So we F and F this most likely as a cheap alternative. So we're going to F and F this. So for now, I'm going to pick this up. Actually, let's just 12 passive cluster. Remove vicious bites. I don't know why in my 12 passive cluster in there's vicious bites. Go ES. Yeah. And then create medium clusters with flask duration and guaranteed. Where is the alchemist's? This one, as well as fasting, I think was what I planned on going. I can't guarantee this is what I want for my second cluster though. Yeah, I can't guarantee it. If I'm impossible escaping here already, then I kind of have to make do somehow. Brother, oh, what? Switch spiked concoction for honestly, Why don't I just go ES effects on a 6 passive as my second one? They all have 100% uptime with 4 flasks, which is the goal. 90%, 64%. Yeah, we'll go for 4. The goal is 4 flasks. If I remove all these points, 84 for Quicksilver. If it's 84 for Quicksilver, that's honestly not bad. We just need a bit more in that direction. Yeah, I don't need to spend all 6 points, so I could easily just make this a 4 passive cluster. And it kind of still does the same thing. In any case, I'm digressing. We want to F and F. Forbidden Flame. Unnatural Strength. Forbidden Flush. Unnatural Strength. Oh, Forbidden Flash, Forbidden Flame. Then I can dump this. And I can go Lycia with this one. So now I want to see real quick. Why would added fire damage be the play when I'm converting everything to chaos? Let's start there, I guess. Sure. Void manipulation. I'm down for melee phase because intimidates. Let's start here. So we need slightly more life reservation, not a lot, slightly more. And the easiest way to do that is that. But that is kind of a bit too much. But as we can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's already reserving 89% of my life, which means in the ideal universe, the guy I pick here should be 130% multi. So Withering Touch is not a bad idea. Okay, 3% on reserved life means it's up to, brain isn't doing the math now, 97% of my life. Everybody else is 130%, right? Multi-track is 150, 140. Yeah, this is perfect, actually. Perfect equilibrium. We don't need to spend any more investment into reservation. Perfect. Can't complain. So what this effectively means, as you might tell, is we have 2 options. Great question. I saw a rare jade amulet that is not corrupted with 2 blight anoints. How? That is from blighted maps and blight ravage maps. Blight specifically can naturally drop double enchanted items. It is one of the... It just drops? Yeah. Only Blight drops it. Only blighted maps like blighted and blight ravage maps drop it. From what I know. But yeah, it's a blight specific drop, and it's a rare sell, but it has its use cases where it can just be base for somebody making a giga amulet for themselves. All right, so I'm very happy to see the reservation is fine. If I wanted to go for a bit more, I could have. If I had to go like Guardian, I would have to use like a 12 link in order to fully utilize all the reservation he gets. But it's also not a bad idea to do that, by the way. Just different. So far, I think these are the only uniques I necessarily need. Let me just make sure. Prism Guardian. I don't need Prism Guardian. I don't need Triad's Grip. So, okay. I'm happy with this thus far. Now we need to scale ES. I would like a lot of ES scaling, if you will. And I also want to end up in this area. Anoint wise, I don't know what I'm going for an anoint, but I guess I could start off by coming down here, and because like I think anointing this is the play, but I also think being in this area is also not a bad idea. But there's also no reason I really need to be. If anything, I'm mostly scaling ES anyways, so I could even dabble in this area as well, because there's ES and EV here, stuff like that. Could go like Ghost Dance for even more recovery / whatnot. I'm already here, so I can pick this up easily. I would want block. That also frees up my shield for a rare shield, to be honest, which is really nice. Or I could also go for a beta buying point with extra Spectre, so I could get one more aura. We'll see. One thing I know for sure is I want more jewel sockets. So we need another U. Probably U, to be honest. So I can get 50% reduced crits. Convocation. I don't know that I want to use life on minion death, and the reason I don't want to is just because of Soul Eater. If not for Soul Eater, I wouldn't care. But just because of Soul Eater, I'm very hesitant to do it. You're driving home from work? Alright. Increased AoE. Increased effect of offerings. Probably cooldown. So in this case, we are going to be stacking Spectres and we're going to be stacking ES. Now we already have a Covenant with Blood Magic. This effectively means that I'm not out for us. I'm kind of forgetting is I want Zealot's Oaths. Huh. What if that means I just cut here out? Pick. I definitely want. I 100% want to cap my blocks. I guess let's start looking at block next. Bone Offering. And I mean, just desecrate, right? It doesn't need life tap. I don't really need to worry about my life regen because I'm really going to be relying on eternal youth. Now, for what we just saw in terms of bug reports, with this cutting our life recharge in half, I'm hoping it doesn't. But like at the same time, it doesn't matter too much. Wait. Hold up. Wait. Should I even be bothering with this when we're reserving most of our life? If this is truly the goal, to reserve 97% of, you know, my life, does it not make sense to just go Whispers of Infinity so I spend ES instead of life? And then I don't have to worry about this or anything like that. The only problem, my only problem with Whispers is that I'm giving up levels to have this. That is the only problem. However, it is still, it's a bit extra ES. If I opt into Whispers of Infinity, this means I have to go the extra mile and get in levels elsewhere. This means I need to use wands, +2 wand. I need to use +1 Spectre Shield because I actually plan on using 5 Spectres minimum. So +1 Spectre Shield, +2 helmets. Is it +2 helmets? We're not going Wraith Lord, that's for sure. We don't need Dark Monarch. Yeah, +2 helmet, I think, will be the play. +2 rare. So we have +2, +4. That'll basically be it. +4. 2, 4. Herald of Purity, does he have physical tag? It does. Wasn't there something that gave level of physical gems? I feel like there was. Oh wait, it does have Awakening added chaos, right? Because okay, so this is 22. Oh wait, I don't get Awakening added chaos because this is just a regular added chaos. God damn it. Okay, we can get corrupted. No, we can't. We can, but that'd be giga pricey, I think. Let's see if and we've gotten any more updates. No, we haven't. Okay. Trade. How much is the Blood Magic Covenant first and foremost? Blood Magic Covenants. It's about 3D. So I do believe Herald of Purity has duration. So we can look for this and physical and duration. Yeah, duration tag is probably the best. Implicit level. Counts 1 implicit level of Socrates gems. Duration. Jesus. Duration is 150. Why is duration that expensive? So yeah, it's not affordable. So you're telling me why is duration so expensive? All right. Is there any corruption I'm missing? Damn it. That have been a source of plus of like levels as well. So I guess in the high end, you maybe you can consider it, but I'm definitely not doing that early on. So you cannot get the corrupted one. So just it is what it is. What next? Empire is one of the bigger scalers, so let's just go ahead and make a +2 minion wand. This will end up being aggressive, but it's fine. Trigger. Then beta buying points with +1 specters. Helmet. ES Lich's circlets with +2 level of all minion skills, as well as ES and ES for now. We'll worry about res later. For now, the main thing is I want to see the levels. 26. So this is so far level 26. Not bad. I would have really loved to get more levels. So let me just check to see if Withering Touch is really still the play here. Awakened Empower seems to be the best call. So let's just go Empower. Empower 4. That puts it at level 29 because level skill on Herald of Beauty is very strong. We have crossed the bridge though, so we have to figure that out. We need to either go for more reservation, which we can. Let's see. What is the life reservation Abyss boots? I don't remember its name. Here we wiki. Bubonic Trail, I think. I just need to make sure I'm affected by a unique Abyss Troll. I just need one Abyss socket. And in here, we're going to have probably a mana moose. Holy, That puts us exactly where we want to. Okay, so this is where I think I'm trolling. I don't think it's worth actually going for that amount of on reserve, because like at this case it's Sentinel of Purity deals 99% more damage. Summoned. Okay, why am I even bothering? Minions. Oh wait. Okay, I see what may have been a problem. Still nothing? Have? It's deal. In any case, we'll just go minion now. Yeah. It means we can't get the full DPS of my, setup. But like the difference between this and like 90%, not the most. And if I can have 10% on reserved, then that means I don't have to use Whispers of Infinity, which means I can get to use a +2 army, which again just means this effectively means I gain 2 levels for the price of 9% more damage, which is big. So instead of this, I'd go for like Ruthless. This gives me 108 life to spend. Really? And I have more than enough life recovery to sustain that, so long as nothing costs more life than I have, So now, with Ruthless instead of Empower, is Void Bandit pretty the best here? Yeah, Empower is better than it. I still get those levels too. All right, we have this now, and now we can go for like a Bone Meld or something. Can either pick a Bone Meld, we can go for a... No, we can't go, we can't use extra extra... My brain isn't working. We cannot use... Unetos Vow. My brain didn't work. We can't use Unetos Vow because that would be a reservation we cannot spare. However, we can use a Bone Meld. Bone Meld is actually what I want to do because I plan on defense stacking with it. So this works out a lot. So we then go 2 levels, regen, that's all right. Cool. What next? Instant leech before I forget. Not sure. I'm not sold on Ruthless, but we'll see. We're going to need to rely on these guys for capping our res, is what I'm feeling like, because this is a lot of res to cover with just 1, 2, 3, and even then I kind of want to go for a Herald of Purity ring, a circle of, is it guilt? Yeah, PDR while affected by Herald of Purity. Like 4% PDR is nothing to scoff at realistically, but at the same time it's like, why don't I just go for rare rings? That way I can actually cap this easier. Next up is the next big question. I plan on using Sublime Vision for this setup. Why? Because I actually no, I plan on using Sublime Vision Loan Messenger for this setup. You may think that's dumb, and you might be correct. Probably are, to be honest. But there are merits to this. So merit one to this would be with Sublime Vision. I would plan on using Sublime Vision Vitality, which is very good with Perfect Warlord. Perfect Warlord is huge because Vitality, Aura, Endurance charges, yada yada. Pretty cool, pretty good synergy. And what else? Him giving me Vitality Aura means whenever I get hit, I regen 15% of my life, which is a lot when converted to ES. It's a lot of ES regen. Whenever I'm hit, I regen it over 4 seconds, I think. Then, like, I could actually just pull it up right now. Sublime. But here's the flip side. 15% of life over 1 second, actually. Over 1 second. So it's a lot of ES to regen whenever I get hit, which is a lot to sustain, basically. So here's the flip side. With Sublime Vision, I can't go a single aura. Now, I can still, as I am right now, if I really wanted to, I could do this. Let's say I wanted Purity of Elements. I'll go Purity of Elements, and I go Eternal Blessing. And I could do that. This gives me a lot of early res. This gives me ailment immunity, stuff like that. Nobody's worse for wear because of it. Or if I go Sublime Vision, I get all that regen, but then I lose Purity of Elements. So the question is Purity of Elements or 50% regen? I think Purity of Elements is the answer, simply because it solves a lot of my suffix pressure, and it solves suffix pressure. There's no Spectre that has Purity of Elements, and ailment immunity, so I don't have to worry about chance to avoid shock coming from anywhere. Yeah, I think I'm sold on this. Okay, we go Purity of Elements then. Then this is 92% actually. That means, but the problem with this is if I go Purity of Elements, I can't use Loan Messenger, which was kind of what I was also kind of hoping for. That go Loan Messenger, go Sublime Vision, and then just don't run any auras was kind of the hope that I could do, and then rely on my, and then use Watcher's Eye, rely on my Spectres for those auras, and yeah. But without Loan Messenger, I don't care about the buff Herald effects or Herald buff effects. I only care about the 25% more minion damage. But realistically, it doesn't make much of a difference. Is Purity of Elements worth 25% more damage? I think so. I think it is. Where would I get chance to avoid shock? I'd go for Storm Shroud. Maybe part of it would be on a flask, but I'm already having issues with flasks, so probably don't have a suffix to spare, but let's just say I do. Then where does the rest come from? My boots are kind of taken. Actually, no, that's duration of ailments. I do need to use a magic Abyss Jewel is the second problem I'm seeing here. Maybe I just go for a two Ghastly Bubonic Trail, so I can go for a magic Ghastly Eye Jewel. with probably ES and a little bit of minion regen, I guess. Actually, no. That's maybe. This gives us movement speed at the very least. Yeah, it does. It does show here. Then these two would just be my boots, and that would classify that guy. Don't care about Death Walk. This would be in trigger weapon, Herald of Purity. Then, what else are we getting? Flasks. Let's go Amethyst. I could go Granites. That would work as well. And I could also go Rumi's Concoction. But I think Rumi's Concoction has issues with, like, I'll have uptime issues. Do I plan on scaling armor? I'll probably have a turtle. Let me actually create my support minions. Say they go in my helmet. It'll be Anime Guardian. Ray Spectre. Feeding Frenzy. Probably a Golem. Carrion Golem would be pretty good for the flat fizz. So would Stone Golem for the regen. I'm a big Stone Golem enjoyer, so I'm gonna use Stone Golem. Light radius. Stunned threshold. Those are very important masteries, or yeah, masteries. I think I'm going to anoint Death Attunement. All right. Now we need minion counts. So bone melt actually starts giving us a healthy amount of them. Damage is currently my biggest issue, I think. What is the cooldown on this? 3 seconds. There's a cooldown on this is 3 seconds. That's the Crusade Slam. Every 3 seconds, the Crusade Slam, which is big. I'm running into a few problems with this build so far. Problem 1. Survivability. Not survivability, ignore my survivability yet. I'm not looking at that just yet. Problem 1, AoE. We don't really have any clear mechanic yet. Oh, I almost forgot. I have to use Gravebinds. One more unique. God. Is there any corrupt that's good for me? Doesn't look like it, so we're just going to go increase ES, I guess. At least that's Chaos Res. The res is literally locked to my helmet and my rings. Now, between these two, I can easily cap my Chaos Res. What about my 3 reses? My 3 early reses. So yeah, I think it's a no-brainer to go for Purity of Elements here. So, anyways, the problems I'm having with this setup so far: A, survivability. Minion survivability rather. It's not the best. I can solve it, if you will. By the way, why is this still freaking ticked? I can solve it with minions dying, yada yada. Like I can do that, but then Soul Eater has become a problem, and I don't want that. Second problem, what is the second problem? Block chance isn't as high as I would like. I can't use Tempest Shield, so we have to figure out block elsewhere because we have nothing on the tree. Increase ES from the tree is also not the most encouraging. So I guess first things first, let's focus on one problem at a time. Clear. How can we improve this clear? We're going to have minion numbers. So that means we're going to have okay damage spread, but they're not going to be linked to anything damage worthy. So that's a bust. Like that's a no. So with that in mind, explode would be perfect here, but I can't go explode because it's Herald of Purity. I need the kills, so my AG can't be the killer. My AG can use Asenats would be one thing. If I can get my AG using Asenat, that would be decent clear. Not the most, but not the worst either. But then he would need melee splash, which means he would have to be in a different pair of, like, in a different link than my Spectres and Golem, which is fine. I think I have the spots, seeing as I don't have auras to use, so I think I have the links to do something like that. What is problem number 2? Aside clear, I mean, he would also need movement speed, but that's worry for another time. Clear was one problem. The second problem was minion survivability. For minion survivability, we would have to use summon phantasms realistically. Summon phantasm. I don't think I'll have so much damage I can just ignore. What you call it? I don't think I'll have the damage to just straight up ignore. Soul Eaters and all the souls they'll be getting from my phantasms, and I really don't want to deal with that, especially if I'm going to be doing the harvest shot I'm currently doing. I face Soul Eaters a fair amount. I really want to deal with that at all. So I can't rely on that. I can use Leech. I make my minions Leech to spec a bit more into minion life, because currently he only has 64% increased life. I would have gone for some extra on his medium cluster, but we really don't have the points. We are point starved. Doesn't help that we're coming down here, but for good reason. Oh. I'm recharging 660 life per second. That's very good, actually. And I also have to keep dealing with minus res coming from here. I just realized, because if I go summon phantasm, those are more minions, so it's more defense, which is really nice. It's still, it's the core of our build in terms of stacking. However, the flip side of that is that we just should up have to figure out res. Now, how do we figure out res? In the ideal universe, that means we are going to ignore 1 or 2 resistances. We can't exactly do that. We can do some light conversions, but I can't use something like Transcendence. If I were to switch to Transcendence, which is Transcendence less or not Transcendence, Tempered by War. Is Tempered by War reduced or less? I think it's less. It's less. Fuck. Okay. Fucking less. I mean, 50% increase is still a fair amount. If I were to go for a Skin of the Lords instead, it would be 1.5 Jesus Christ times 0.5, which ends up being 25% less. So then for every point of res we get, it's 75, but then 50% is converted to cold and lightning, it's going to fire rather, and then we can get 20% from Watcher's Eye, Purity of Fire, and then we get Purity of Fire from a minion, and then the last 30 has to be coming from either Sublime Vision, which I guess we could still go. or would it have to come from the shield? But then I can still go what I'm doing now with this setup. Only problem is I have to drop Balbala, which doesn't work if I want sustain. Let's see. I drop Balbala. This is still going to be 100% uptime. Yeah. What about y'all? Y'all suffer big time. And if I remove you, then you guys, I mean, Balbala no longer helps, right? So I can now go for 5. That means effectively you can go back to being a 12, a 6 passive cluster. Also, does it say Alchemist Genius? Yes, I do. %100% from here. 71. Holy. We would need way more than just these in order to make it work. We'd have to go for even more medium clusters and stuff. If we can make it work without Balbala, then we can maybe look at something like that. But I also just, I'm not the biggest fan of relying on a Spectre that much. So unless I want to use like meat shield to keep it on me, but I plan on having an aggressive one. So knowing the Purity of Fire Spectre, she's going to flame dash away from range. And that'll leave me eating damage with the resistances that I'm not scaling. But it will help me a lot when it comes to capping my resistance, because all I care about is fire and chaos at that point. And I can actually spec max fire res because that's the only res I care about. And I can go Ruby Flask as well because max fire res. There are some positives to that setup, though. Yeah. The big things now is I'm not enjoying. I mean, I haven't configured this build, so this damage number is going to be higher just based off of the gear we have. We're not done filling out this slots and everything. And we still have a bit more because it's not constant Crusade Slam. All that's aside. Sorry. Let's see. There are still a lot of things we could do, I guess. Despair, obviously. Damage is ramping actually. Despair. This goes on gloves. We're not supporting this. For now, let's just go. For now, let's say let's do what I said. Anime Guardian leaves. So it's an Anime Guardian angle alongside melee splash. He's already aggressive, so I don't need to give him feeding frenzy. Let's go minion life. Then shield charge. My shield charge has how much attack speed? 99% increased. By comparison, how much attack speed does my leap slam have here? Almost double that with onslaught and everything, and haste and everything. All right, faster attacks it is. Convocation. Meat shield. This is helmet, boots, gloves, shield, weapon. What I need right now. What I really need right now is Frost Blink. Because I don't have Leap Slam. I need Frost Blink. They're non-negotiable. I also don't have that much movement speed. I have 93%. I also would ideally like to instead go like zombies here. Simply for minion numbers. Maybe zombies would be a nice alternative to phantasms for the purpose of increased defenses. I have more than enough space, and I also need to worry about stun, so just going to go immutable force. How tanky is my AG? Oh, I can't see his stats. Okay, not yet anyways. What about my specters? They are going to be the harder ones to keep alive, if you will. Who's giving me this Critious guy? Gilded Arachnid is not here, which would be ideal. Perfect Forest Warrior. His max hits are decent. He's barely recovering health though. That is the big problem here. That is what I'm trying to fix. Now, granted, they're going to all have endurance charges thanks to Perfect Warlord though, so there's that. So Forest Warrior, let me just add my specters now while I'm thinking about it. Warlord, Forest Warrior, so I have Onslaught at least. Then Guardian Turtle, we have 5 specters. That leaves 2 spots. We can go for Gilded Arachnid, which is Gilded Arak rather is its name. Nearby enemies take 10% increased chaos damage, something like that on average. Is there an aura I care to have? Discipline. Perfect. What's her face? Perfect. What's the discipline specter's face again? Spirit of Judgmental Spirit. Zero, 2, 3, 4. This is Forest Warrior, Warlord, Guardian Turtle, Judgmental Spirits, and then we just don't space for Gilded Arak, or Gilded Arak can't show up here, so. Gloom Ring, Bone Ring, and now in there. I cannot do this. I cannot just yoink them. For my Gloom Ring, it needs to be my source of strength. So Rage Essence. And Chaos Res, as well as, let's just say, Cold Res, because that's easier to hit. Then Bone Ring. I can get dexterity elsewhere. I don't need to focus on dexterity here, but why not? Actually, the reason why not is simple. I can spam Reforge res and get other reses as well. Get triple res on the ring. This overcaps me by a lot. But by overcapping me this much, I get to do things like drop this. Zombie. And I have like 8 zombies? 9? With the modifiers, I ain't working. We'll have to manually input them. It's still 8, right? Yeah, okay. So I have 9 zombies is what that means. So let's just start from Herald of Purity. I have 4 of them. 5 specters, that's 9. 1 golem, that's 10. 9 zombies, that's 19. Wait. 4 purities, 5 specters, that's 9. Golem, 10. Zombies, 19. AG, 20. That's 20 minions. And so we need a bit more res. But look at that jump. Look at my ES. 5,300 to 6,900. Almost 5,400, but yeah. So that's like a 1,400 increase, ES increase, but now my res is kind of suffering for it. So which means one of these guys needs to not be chaos res, which is kind of ironic. So the one that has all elements, we'll just try to get all early res at some point. And there's no guarantee we can get it, but fine. We'll chaos res here. And there we go. Replace this with all early res. More rounded. All right, now we can actually still have wiggle room for anything else, but we're currently at 7k ES. Kind of one more ES, but actually no, there is a big problem here. I think I said I was going to go dexterity here. What happened? 9/7 triple res. That is a problem. That is a problem, and the reason it's a problem is I just remembered that I would like to go fortress, which means I need more dexterity and more strength. But I guess it's not really a problem because any of these can be the source of that realistically. That solves it. And we still have our res. 7809. Still capped. Okay, we're chilling. We are chilling indeed. Um Are we sure we want to have this point? We don't want to have that point. I just forgot to remove it. All right. We're looking at about 15 mil DPS now. Still haven't really configured yet. We can start working our way to config. Lunaris, Broadcall. Enemy will be shocked. 20 shock because we plan on using the shock rune grafts. Let's actually just go for the easy configs. We'll deal with all this later. We haven't done AG, none of that. Minions have onslaughts. Yes, I mean they already it knows they have onslaughts. I have Alchemist Genius. I have 20 some odd minions. I am not on consecrated ground. I would like to be, but I'm not. I have used a minion skill recently. I have not Warcry. I don't care about Warcry, and I have consumed my corpses or whatever. Enemy near you doesn't matter. Enemy is intimidated. Yes.
How's it going?
I'm good. Good. You?
Good.
All right, so that's the easy configs. Now for the more difficult ones. Do I want to deal with that yet? Sure. Why not? We'll start with an AG. Oh, I almost forgot. Fallen Strike. Perfect. Forest. Warrior. Fallen Strike. Cool. Now let's actually get our AG in here. He's not going to be using Kingmaker. I could have him use a Mask of the Stitched, and that would make sure he just never dies. He's not. One thing to note is that he is not going to be an Explode AG. So he's going to use Asenath. I don't think I need to care about. I guess I need to care about the extra thing, but that's about it. I think. What do I want to give him? Since it's not Explode, he has to have items that buff the party. Honestly, it might just be an AG where Dying Breath is Biss. I guess there's the Explode stuff, but then it should realistically never count as him killing because I have Gravebind. So yeah, that'll be a waste. I think it's honestly just a Dying Breath angle. Can't think of a better weapon than that for everyone. Windscreen because additional curse. Because he's going to be applying temp chains with Asenath. Which means I have temp chains, which means I should consider at least scaling some poison, maybe chance of poison support or something, but we'll see. I'm leaning towards Grotcall's Pelt. I mean, I could also just instead do Doppelgangers, but I'm leaning towards Grotcall's Pelt. And the reason I'm leaning towards Grotcall's Pelt is so I can drop Mask of the Stitched and either go for and probably just go for a rare helmet. But do I want to craft that? Maybe, maybe not. Crown of the Tyrant is also a good alternative because it gives flat chaos, which is not bad, and it gives -10 rares to the enemy. Again, not bad. What is the rare alternative? I'd have to craft this myself, which is like the biggest problem. I've already crafted a pair of AG helmets. I kind of don't want to spend the currency to do this, but it would be Hunter. It would be... Who's the other guy? Is it just Hunter? Nearby enemies taking have minus chaos res. Is there nearby enemies have increased or reduced chaos res or minus chaos res? No, the nearby enemies take increased chaos damage. Is there that? Craft of Exile. I have a feeling there isn't, which means Crown of the Tyrant would be Bis, which is honestly good for me. So let's see. Shaper is elemental. Elder might be... No, Elder is physical. I don't know that there's a take increased chaos damage. I think it's just minus res. It looks like it's just minus res, in which case, yeah, I'll take it. Crown of the Tyrant it is. Save myself a pretty penny. Make this white, so it's flat chaos being added. And then nearby enemies have minus auras. So let's just start configuring as we go. AG. Nearby enemies have minus 10% to all resistances. That's one. You can apply an additional curse. That's two. Nearby allies have it's not a rate 47 to 61. Added chaos
liquidated.
damage. Okay, and how did that go?
This time.
You have enough for...
Well, I forgot that I've been doing a scarab strategy with this blight this whole time, so I was literally just chilling on like 70, 80 D and scarabs.
Lol.
Like without 5 to 1. So now I'm at 460. They started 409.
Yeah, congrats.
It's time.
And then my additional curse is...
Actually, not sure how long you're on today, but if you're gonna be on to play something, let me know. Some fellowship.
I should be on. The question is, would you still be on when I get back? Because I'm ending stream
Let me know.
at some point, then I'll spend time with my girl, and then I'll be on for fellowship. She's being dramatic.
She? Yeah, you had your chance, so he's actually there right now. If you're not min-maxing, I don't know what you're doing. Don't dull.
All right, where were we? This is helmet, right? So I'm at... Oh wait, we're not done yet. The things that come with PoB minions. Where's that weapon? Where's Dying Breath? Nearby allies gain minions have 18% increased damage, I think. It's deal, isn't it? Yeah, but it's 18%. That's on the confirm deal. Oh, there was a much bigger problem staring at me. And then increase effect of curses. 18% increased effect of your curses. There. I think that's all I need to care about. Yeah. That's pretty much it, right? Nothing else. Pretty sure. Now let's check the AG survivability to see if it's despair or not. The regular AG, so he has good life. God, I hate scaling AG of Smiting's defenses. This is so much better. He has good life. He has good max hits. His regen is decent, not insane, but like at least decent. And the best part about all these things in the setup is that I still don't have to worry about the things I was talking about, i.e. Soul Eater, because of what's his face. Because of dying phantasms. I don't have to worry about that. Tell me I have a graph here. I do not have a graph there. Okay. We'll just make one. Graph replicating, right? Yeah, replicating. Minion damage. Increase the effect of non-damaging ailments. Grab blood gained. Maybe cooldown recovery.
When you enter someone's hideouts to buy 418 divine item.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready? And then you see that they are selling a double influence mage blood for 17 mirrors. You know you're not playing this. Double influence mage blood with items cells with like the delve implicit.
Mm-hmm.
Double influence mage blood for 17 mirrors.
I mean, do you know how many times they clicked for that
this
thing?
400 divines you are giving them is actually nothing. It's actually nothing. It's big.
You're going to the next double influence made blood.
My first simplex, though.
Your first simplex? What do you mean? Ever?
Yeah.
Kind of hard to believe.
I know, right? I just never made it that far.
Congrats. Big first step. This is replicating. What is the second one supposed to be again? I don't remember. What is it? What do I typically go? Molten is a defensive one. If I wanted more damage, I would go for Brittle. Do I care for more damage right now? I mean, I'm not scaling crits, so no. The question now is, and I think the answer is yes. We go for our Moltens of Graft. Maximize uptime on it. So that, what'd you say?
I'm just proud of it. It's really pretty.
Congrats. Cooldown recovery. Increase duration. Ain't she pretty? That's arcane right now. Then we just go grab blood gained. Or we go strength or whatever else and we'll call it a day. Molten Zelfcraft in place. So now this is going to be had and it actually looks. All right, what else are we missing? We're missing some jewels. Exhibit A, Watcher's Eye. What Watcher's Eyes do we care about? We care about the term PDR as a big priority. No one else matters too much. Discipline additional spell block, honestly, sure, would be really good. We need all the spell block we can get. If we can get all that with vitality, life recovery rates. Actually, you know, percent life regen would probably be it.
Holy.
And then throw that in. Feels Giga.
I haven't even done it. Like, what do I do? Like, am I even gonna notice it on the Uber boss? I have to literally go straight into Blight.
I told you. It makes no difference for 90% of the content you ever run. Only makes a difference in like Blight and maybe some insane ghosted rogue exiles or something.
I mean, we're Blight logging in, I guess. It's not really exciting though.
How can I improve my phase max hits right now? Armor is the obvious answer to that. How I can. That being said, I don't think I care to. Wait, no wonder Quicksilver was asked. What the fuck? I forgot to change it. I forgot to change it. And everything is 100%. 89, 82, 87, 89. So if I had to go for big cluster, is there a universe where that allows me to go for Quartz is 100% uptime though. If I get Amethyst would be the big thing where I would want this to be 100% uptime. If I can get Amethyst to 100% uptime, then we log in. If I can get Amethyst to 100% uptime, then we can actually drop. We can drop this, but we can't drop this because this is still increased charges gain that we'd have to replace. All right, so let's just give up on the idea of dropping that.
It is unironically 50% more damage. That's so crazy, bro.
Low.
Like, I was kind of just talking out of my ass when I said that.
Did you put it in POB and see 50% more?
Yes, it's actually 49.7. That's what's like insane to me, you know?
You're at 292 mil. So yeah, it's more than 50% because you said 497. So that's basically 200 mil.
49.7%.
Oh, I thought you said it was 497 mil GPS. All this, everything we've done thus far, we're at 27.7 mil DPS here from just the Herald of Purity, ignoring the other minions. They will be adding to the damage, but will they be adding a meaningful amount? That's a good question. It also ignores their Crusade Slam, which is part of the equation. I really wish there was a way to calculate. Let me see something. Pastes, none, include, and then Crusade Slam. The problem with doing this is the effective DPS would be slightly lower because whenever they're using this, they're not using this. Attack speed wise, 0.29 attack time, 1 second. So it takes like the time of like 3 attacks, give or take, to use their slam, which means this is a decent DPS loss. So we're not quite looking at 42 mil. We're looking closer to maybe 38 mil DPS with the slam, 35 maybe, you know, somewhere along those lines. It's probably closer to the amount of DPS we actually have. But yeah. Are these still the best support gems we have available? Is Ruthless still up there? Void Manipulation is now better, but I will not be switching Ruthless because that hits my 8% on reserve life. So if I had to do this, all of a sudden, I don't have the life to cast anything. So, can't do that. I can do Chance to Poison. That works. My big problem with Chance to Poison, though, is Awakening Melee Phase. Okay, no. Yeah, Awakening Melee Phase doesn't directly help it. All my flat chaos damage is not helped by Awakening Melee Phase because it's all more melee phase damage. So when I get direct chaos damage, it doesn't benefit that portion. But the problem with switching like melee phase for something like Void Manipulation is I lose Intimidate, which is net worse than Awakening Melee Phase. Oh my god. Chance to Poison. Awakening Melee Phase. Alright. And then you are still the best for your slots. Okay, cool. Replace Empower with Void Manipulation. And we're now sitting at 32 mil DPS. But damn. All that upfront damages disappear to poison DPS. Went from 26 mil to 19 mil hit DPS, but then we gained poison DPS. Is that worth it? Is the next question. It would be worth it because we have access to temp chains. It wouldn't be worth it because we're not capped on poison chance, so we're just throwing our hits by doing that. Not to mention it also adds chaos damage that melee phase doesn't scale, which is, you know, part of the problem, I would say. So overall, I think I would rather have the 29 mil upfront damage than have the 31 with 19 mil being upfront damage and then, you know, 18 being poison, all that. Then I'd be more susceptible to avoid poison, like avoid poison maps and all that yucky stuff. That being said, though, we do have one more jewel sockets we haven't used. What do I want to do with these jewel sockets? It's a good question. I'm thinking just a rare ghastly eye jewel, if I'm being honest. This will give me flat ES.
Yo, isn't
Flat fizz. Isn't what?
I need a strict filter bad. Something happened to my filter.
Then why did I want a ghastly eye jewel again? There was something I was thinking of that was going to be very big for it. Poison chance. That's why. That's why. And then leave it at this. Level 95 POB. I could always just do this for the extra levels. Now -1. Actually, we -1 here, right? Everything is still 100% uptime. Yes, cool. Now we're sitting at 42 mil DPS, 8k ES. Fizz Max, it could use some work. But we also have 100, well, actually -1 here as well. We're going to need a spare mastery from somewhere. There is no way I use every single mastery I'm taking. The fuck? I don't think I've ever done this before. Using every single mastery I'm taking? The fuck? That's how few masteries I have? I guess I don't need AoE. Really, I kinda don't. So we can go warp. Which allows me to do this. Warp just gives us the uptime we need for our graph to be 100%. And then that's it. Why do I go this? I don't need that mastery. Because I'm going immutable 4, so it doesn't matter if I get stunned or not. That means less fizz while on, yeah, and I am always on full ES because I'm constantly leeching. Why does this matter? I don't care about DD, the fuck. I really don't care about DD. You've been hit recently, yes, once. Why does this matter? There's things here that ask, why does any of this matter? One enemy nearby. Oh, have I crits personally? Okay, no. I think this is fine. All right, POB's kinda done. Kinda. Yeah, this is done. There's still things I could do to min-max it, you know, switch minion life to get more minions, try to fit more res with my cluster, stuff like that. Potentially it will give me more ES, not necessarily more damage, but just more, well, it will give me more damage, but they don't have support, so it's more or less just more ES. I don't want to do that though, simply because of what's the name of these things, Solita. So I think this is fine. Sitting at 42 mil DPS is on coming from only 4 Heralds of Purities, and this is ignoring Jet Slam. With Jet Slam, what is it closer to? With Jet Slam in the equation, we're looking at closer to like 55 mil DPS, 52, 55, thereabouts is the real effective DPS we're looking at here. Okay, fine with me. That being said, we also have too much int, so we could do something about that. We have 400 ints. We have 0 mana, obviously, so we could, in theory, tattoo some ints to get reduced crits, but I don't like the idea of dropping the ES we would be losing, so we could instead tattoo ES, because that's all we're getting anyways. That'd be 1% per tattoo. This might allow me to even get Conk Ground, which would be nice to have.
Praying for you with those Solita mobs, bro. Praying for you.
Why? I'm not going to this. I'm not going to have any issues
Your
with them.
phantasms.
I'm not going phantasms.
What are you on?
I'm just stacking minions, so I just went zombies, specters.
Oh, it's just it's a zoom answer. I'm trying to be
zombie
just
army,
curious.
but yes, it's not using Dark Monarch. You can't use Dark Monarch because apparently, and I didn't know this upon first reading the node, but the node, Lycia's node, literally says Herald and minions from Herald skills deal 1% more damage for every 1% of maximum life those skills reserve. So you have to make sure the Herald is the one reserving as much life as possible, not just reserving life. I didn't know that. So we had to effectively go blood magic. So because life type would make it egregious. Not to mention it would be a deadling for minions. So we went blood magic, which means blood magic covenants. And that being said, we should actually just, this is a high budget setup. Let's just corrupt this. Yeah. 53 mil DPS now. Anyways, that was like 10, 11 mil DPS. Holy, that's actually a very strong corrupt. Too bad it's over 100 div. It's over a fucking 100 div on trade. Is there any build that currently wants to use duration corrupt on Covenant? Because it surprised me a lot that Fireborn Covenant was going like with duration was going for that much.
Would Dawnbreaker like that?
Duration? I don't think so. I think he's
animated the weapon, right?
Animated weapon.
Tag, right?
Oh, fair. Animated weapon would actually like that.
Yeah, seems like a no-brainer for that build.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
Like if you like +2, +1, you know. But like duration is also very makeable, to be honest. If you corrupt enough.
Yeah, but not for Covenant is the thing. Like unless like it's very specific that minion and duration are both expensive. When I checked, I assumed duration will be cheap, but minion will be expensive. Just to see minion is like 129D duration, like they're basically the same price. It's the TLDR.
Yeah. Because they're basically same worth for them, right? That's why.
Yeah, basically. So.
Did you get any more patch notes today?
None that I saw.
They said they nerfed Roa again, so now it's 100 costs.
Like 100 flat spirits?
100 flat.
Jesus, that's bad for you guys, but
So
it'd be nice for minions.
I haven't run a Roa build, bro. What the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing this?
You should have run it where you had the chance.
No, low-key, I was generally thinking, maybe I try a poison Pathfinder with the Pathfinder buffs. Hey guys, Fab Gun here. Let me show you what is probably the best league starter of 0.5. Poison Pathfinder.
1 mirror for a +1 and duration Covenant.
I think we corrupt some, to be honest.
I think we corrupt some too, but I don't think we have enough time.
I mean, I'll do it with for fun. I just need shit to sell.
Corrupted, no. How much are uncorrupted? 10D per. That's the problem. That right there is the problem. It's 10D per.
If it's that pricey, then it's not.
Like the base non-corrupted is 10D.
Yeah, if it's that pricey, it's not happening.
Yeah. Oh well.
It's us with that.
Yeah, it just means if you want to get the corruptions, you're looking at 100 plus D.
All it means.
Yeah, I def can't afford that, so we'll be making do with uncorrupted. But I was like, I think the corrupt is like 11 mil DPS, which is a lot. Now imagine if you had to get +4. 10D for the chest. You're ignoring the cost of the temple as well. But yeah, it's something. The alternative, honestly.
Oh, I took a half day off on Friday.
So you're not going to what do you think?
Half day. No,
so
I asked my boss and he's like, nah. I have my boss and he's like, nah, you don't have to go. He's like, I'm not coming.
I told you.
I was like, yeah, but overthinking. Like, no, I wasn't necessarily trying to overthink. I was just trying to be cautious, right? Like, you can already tell right now, but there's a track record of my work blurring the lines of, home and work. So I just want to know, like, is an expectation? And he's like, no, man. Like, people are gonna be there drinking and shit. And I'm like, oh, I don't even drink. He's like, yeah, all right, don't come.
Yeah. All right. So I think I'm fine with this POB. I would ideally like more Fizz max sets. I don't think it's happening. So realistically, what's going to happen instead is what the fuck? I just realized we have 4 red sockets and 1 green and 1 blue on a Covenant base. That ought to be fun. Good thing it's going to be corrupted. We'll just go for an increased ES corruption or like something along those lines. Max res, something defensive that wouldn't be pricey. Maybe anti-crits. That would probably end up being the plan. Alternatively, Alternatively, what can we do? Alternatively, we can go with Skin of the Lords. That'll give me a +2 baseline with 100% defense and blood magic. But then the problem with Skin of the Lords is PS wise, I didn't even lose that much by dropping the Covenant. Damage wise, I do lose like 5 mil damage. But like, I think the problem with Skin of the Lords is the fact that I have to find one with the exact links I'm looking for, like socket colors. Because it just somehow has sockets cannot be modified. Who the fuck thought about that? Putting that one on Skin of the Lords, can I just say? Like of all the things to put on a chess piece, it's sockets cannot be modified. So you
first uniques I saw in this game, and I thought maybe a lot of them had shit like that, and I was like, so I need to drop this shit with the good colors.
Let me see how much a good Skin of the Lords is. Skin of the Lords with 1 green, 4 red, 1 blue.
Also, open yours.
Blood magic.
You probably have a shit ton of the div cards you haven't turned in.
Open my what? Oh, which div card is that again? Oh yeah,
search skin and you'll see it.
It drops corrupted, so you can't get implicits on it as well. There are quite a few. It's like 15C. So wait, the difference between this, wait. Let me actually real talk. Let me see. Between this 100D unique and this 15C unique, the difference in damage is 5 mil. Defense is, what is this? 17, 45, 35, 35, yada yada yada. It's like 2k more elemental EHP difference, 1k chaos, no difference fizz. Actually higher fizz on the 515C unique. Huh. Surely that's what we just go for, right?
See why not, right? This early?
Because like, it's not, even though we lose a literal link. Oh, but that's the problem, we lose a link. I guess that also allows me to drop Rootless, right? I can then drop Rootless for something heavier. A chance to poison, I guess. 28 mil upfront damage versus, what else is there? Empower is 130. The problem with this is I now have 17% life unreserved, which is too much life. So that would take me down to 83% more damage, which is 48 mil which is 48 mil damage anyways. I want to see something. I want to make this specific to Sentinel of Purity. It works. All right. There. No, it's just me and PoB messing. I'm just messing with PoB config to try to be very specific. Instead of using minions deal for the farewell to flush, I wanted to be specific.
So, like, reflecting on this build, you were right about, like, Ubers, but, like, with Blight, I felt my damage go up. Like, there's the Blight maps I couldn't do, I'm doing them now.
I mean, what I said is
And
for 90% of content you're doing, you're not going to notice a difference.
yeah. I mean, the truth is, like, I think when you said that, I was not realized, but I'm not even doing 90% of the content. So, like, I'm literally not engaging with anything that's not blind right now, right? So,
There's a person that said he wants to go back to Harvest. But okay.
if anything, it's better for Harvest, right?
No. Because you're
Wow.
because you have more than
I'll
enough
still
damage for
one shot
Harvest
them.
anyways.
Harvest? Yeah, fair. I think, yeah, I mean, I still want to do Harvest. Ideally, I have enough currency to just bounce between both, right? Because Blight can be kind of tiring with the PC shit.
Holy. Yeah. So it's about 3 mil DPS if I can reserve the remaining life. How do I do that? I need more reservation. I need you to be there's a very easy solution here. You. Oof. That's a bit too much. uh hmm. What do we do? I think we go back to Ruthless. But Empower though. Empower is huge because Skin of the Lords gives it 2 levels.
Empire is huge. Empire 4.
Yeah, so that makes it Empower. That makes it level 6, which gives it 5 levels to Herald of Purity. Like it is. Yeah, it's a damage nerf going to Ruthless. But we are in 11% now, which gives me 89. So that's a DPS increase actually with Ruthless because of the simple fact that we have more reservation. Do we really not go Empowers? Kind of rough. But yeah, I think it's genuine as a Skin of the Lord's angle. Like it's way more damage than a base Blood Magic Covenant without much more in the way of downs. It's like I lose some ES, but not an insane amount. All right, I think this is fine. I think this is where I want to end stream. I'm happy with the build. Only thing I would change is defenses, but we have Molten Zolfcraft, so that's not replicated here. So I think overall it should feel good. We just have to avoid buff reduction maps. That's all. Other than that, the build itself should not be too expensive.
Will there be a video?
Probably not. But I should find. You're welcome. I should find this. I mean, asking for a video right now when I don't even know if I'm like how the build is actually going to play. That's jumping the gun, in my opinion. Wait, but the only problem I have with Skin of the Lord is if I have to switch support gems, I have to literally switch chest. But I think for the most part, if I'm switching anything, I'm switching red with red, so doesn't make a difference.
You just buying that cheap one, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. I think Turtle's dead in this map. What? Dude, Turtle's a fighter. I just need to be honest about that.
Turtle is fucking tanky.
Oh my god, Turtle's a fighter! GG's. I already know he's dead. I saw the health go from 1 to full. I'm like, I know I'm not the healer. The icon, top icon.
But I say I know I'm not a healer.
I already know.
All
So I'm not
right.
crit immune right now.
All right, guys. That's gonna be it for today. We're going to start rolling this. I'm probably not streaming tomorrow, I don't think. I might not. I feel like I'm not going to because I have stuff to do IRL. And if I don't, then I'll be back on Thursday with hopefully what's the semblance of a character, moving through that. But that being said, I just realized Thursday is actually going to be a chill stream because I have no work on Friday. I took time off, so we're not pressed to end too soon. But at the same time, I still need to rest because Friday is going to be a longer stream, so we'll have to balance that. I'm ranting at this point. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you all. I'll be back most likely Thursday, but till then.